What's going on, everybody? Eric Lindquist at Stochastic here on the Odd Chopper channel, coming to you with a Monday edition of MLB. Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks. Hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell goes a long way for me on this video. Goes a long way for you. That way you become a prize. Remember, great content is going live here at our little neck of the YouTube woods. Had a really good, really enjoyable last 5-6 days. Sunday was a little bit rocky for me overall, but finished out with a bang. Christopher Sanchez over 18.5 outs, plus 158 is where I got that at, plus 155, a prevailing number at Novig, and then plus 145 at a lot of sports books. He just absolutely eviscerated Detroit, went 8 strong innings, and then turned it over to my guy, Duran. Yes, my guy, my Minnesota Twins. Turned Phillies. It's wild to watch him just dominate for another team, but I know he's that good. We just didn't have a lot of opportunities for him there in Minnesota with how bad of baseball we played over the last couple of months. We're going to be picking on a lot of Minnesota Twins spots here. It is wild to watch. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Had an unbelievable finish to the week in Lindy's Long Balls. Ended up firing over at X at Eric Lindquist, and then also on this channel, unit tracking, doing everything I can to be forward facing for you there. Had a really, really nice run. 7 for 14 there on the Lindy's Long Balls, 9 for 18. So again, 50% on both sides there. We got the Montgomery home run there leading in Thursday. Or was that Friday? Friday it would have been in the premium Discord. I could just look at my notes too. That would be great. My tracker, that would be great too. But we got Lindy 30. One more day. This will be going bye-bye at the end of Monday night. Monday night, that's going to be the cutoff for it. $30 to be able to sign up for an entire month. That's $1 a day. $1 a day. Pretty great deal if you ask me. $30 for an entire month, which corresponds with the beginning of NFL season. Yeah, you heard me. NFL season. You want to get a full month of MLB with me? Well, it's been really good. It'd be hard-pressed to find anybody in the premium Discord over the course of the last couple of months who signed up, who is disheartened, who hasn't enjoyed themselves. And then last 5 days have just been a dream. And Sunday, again, the rockiest of them all by far, but some of the plays, again, Friday, Saturday, I've been putting that work in. Put in that work, Devin. Don't give up. Another one. I love that commercial for what it's worth. But this is not even a commercial. This is just an opportunity for you to jump in the Lindy and Friends Discord. And it's not just myself. We got Eitan Shander giving you all of his plays on a day-in, day-out basis, in addition to Greg Ehrenberg in the Future Street. So you guys want to come in, kick it with us. The water's warm. Why don't you sign up? Lindy's exclusive Discord, promo code Lindy30. Now, without further ado, let's get to the lane, shall we? 13 games coming down the pipeline. 13 games I'm going to be breaking down. We got 3 plays on the card here night before. That's kind of been a good number. Maybe it's just like trimming it down just ever so slightly, but we absolutely smash. Andrew Vaughn goes yard for everybody on Friday. Thursday, just evisceration. End up sweeping the board on Wednesday with 2 home runs, that being Randy Arozarena and Julio Rodriguez. And that really got us turbocharged Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday down a little bit. But overall, an unbelievable last 5 days. So I'm not going to complain too much. You know, I was also not complaining. Kyle Stowers, who's just on another planet. Guy has an almost 1 OPS. What is OPS for the people who don't know? That is basically just taking your on-base percentage and then you're adding in what your slugging is. So plus slugging, on base plus slugging, OPS. That's a ridiculous number. We're talking like MVP type OPS numbers from Kyle Stowers. You look great in Baltimore right about now. But Jesus Sanchez, going back to his old team, I've had him on the card a lot in over 1.5 hits plus runs plus RBIs. We are actually 5-1 betting him this year, and the only loss came this Sunday. I had to go back and double check because I was like, is this the first time we've lost with Jesus Sanchez on the card? He hits a double, so he covered the over 1.5 total bases, which again I did not have, which would have been plus money there in Boston in that spot. But Jesus Sanchez, again, not his fault. Nobody knocked him in there, and there were just some weird things going on there in that Boston game, that's for sure. But got up early in the morning, thought we were going to cash all of that. But got Alexander and Alcantara. I think Alcantara, he must pay for his sins. And I must say, Jesus Sanchez going to probably be a little bit inflated. Does he have revenge in his heart for a team that, I don't know, traded him to a contender to be able to go contend? I don't know. What does his agent think? I guess that's probably the only person who's maybe like, oh, you could have been the star word in Miami. He can still be the star word in Miami. He can go back whenever. I don't think he's under team control for you. I could double check. But anyway, Jesus Sanchez, Kyle Stowers. I love the lefties there against the respective spots. And the main thing for me with Stowers is that Alexander Do we get any kind of value going up against Jason Alexander? He's just an awful little righty up there. Just 7.36 ERA now, 2 total decisions on the season, 5.02 expected ERA. I mean, what are we doing throwing him out there? Might be looking at Kyle Stowers. If he was playing in a different ballpark, this could be steroids, what we're looking at his season being. But anyway, under the radar. Don't forget, also somebody that Dave Roberts relied on in the home run derby portion of that overtime festivities, extra innings festivities, whatever you want to call it, at the All-Star game. That kind of says something. That kind of tells you what kind of pop he's got in the bat, and everybody kind of notices. All right, enough of that one. My Twins suck. Detroit, -1.5. I'm obviously looking at them on the run line, if anything here. We got Casey Mize, and it would have lined up to be Simeon Woods Richardson here in this spot, but kind of went through some of the different options that Minnesota could roll out here in this specific one. I ended up landing on this Adams character, Travis Adams. He's got an 8.03 ERA for us this season, 1.62 whip, but he's had 4 starts. We ended up having to roll him out 4 times in the month of July. They didn't go well. I hate it. Minnesota, what are we doing here? I like Casey Mize. We picked on a couple of times because I expected negative regression, but like, get plus money at some point here on Detroit. We got to wait for that starting pitcher. It's awful. Also awful, Justin Verlander this season. He's married to Kate Upton. I'll give him a break. But Johan Vito going to be the guy who's probably rolled out here, coming off the IL for Pittsburgh. I've kind of liked his stuff at times in his career. Now, he's only 27 years of age, and he had a 3.15 expected ERA in 2022. But, Common John, we didn't see him in all of 2024. Now it's 2025, hashtag math. But he had really, really good breaking ball stuff. Curveball, slider. He's a primary slider pitcher. That being said, I don't know what that pitch mix is going to look like right from the gate. Looked okay as they were kind of building him up, but didn't really know what to think of this line here. Pittsburgh coming out of Coors, kind of the tiebreaker for me, where it's like, you know what? You don't have to try to force something that you don't really love. And I do not love a team that gets out of Coors and now the breaking stuff's going to break even more, even if it is a crusty old ass Justin Verlander. Shout out Kate Upton. Castillo's home run. No, the world is not ending, although sometimes it feels like it when I look at AI and how it's updating on a day in, day out basis. And yet Castellanos going up against Cade Povich. You see some kind of a weak lefty up there, and you just want to try to make it a thing. 51.3% hard hit, 13.5% barrel percentage for him on the season. I think we know at this point in time, Castellanos batting cleanup here every single time that they roll out lefties. And oh boy, Cleveland taking on the Metsies, Alonso homer. Oh, by the way, Jesus Luzardo, never know what to think about him. And we'll see. We'll see what Baltimore rolls out. Their lineup just scares me every single time. Back half of it's still not as bad as the back half of the Twins lineup. So shout out Baltimore. Alonso home run going up against Slade Ciccone here. I don't really want to pick on Sean Manaea all that much. He's been really good. 275 xWOBA here for the Metsies, 349 expected slugging. And we know how bad Cleveland is against lefties. In fact, the Mets -1.5. I expected that to be the play that ended up showing up here, but I slightly have it edged out with Alonso in terms of expected value. Pretty good chance he ends up on the card if you get something better than the +320 type number for Alonso here, but wind hasn't been as advantageous. Weather hasn't been as advantageous up in the Northeast as we've seen previously. Kansas City taking on the Boston Red Sox. Kansas City is going to roll out Bailey Falter. How is he on Kansas City? What are we doing with our lives? Also, why did they want him? I'm just confused by everything this day and age. Reading the good news on the newspaper page. Shout out. Days go by. Family Matters, so good. Brian Bale, did I do that? He's terrible. 337 xWOBA, 268 expected batting average. Ground ball is spectacular. No words were vernacular. Shout out Moulin Rouge. But I do think Kansas City, if they're going to be turning it over to a bullpen faster, and also just trying to figure out why they go out and pick Bailey Falter up off the waiver wire, I don't know. No, they traded for it. It's a weird time to be alive. Let's just go to the next slide, shall we? For more no home run hit, Cincinnati and Chicago. I feel like people don't listen to me when it comes to weather on this show. Like, I've said multiple times just how insane it is. And if you see Lindy's long balls, I mean, there's times where the wind's blowing out in Wrigley, and I just have all 4 home run plays from the game. I know I did it with the Mariners during that stand. That worked out well. I know I've done it multiple times here, and it's like, you just never get disappointed. And I do say, not having numbers like inside of plus 250 to plus 275 in those kind of scenarios, and then but seeing people throwing out Pete Armstrong plus 325. Now, that's a bad example because I know that I tend to get to him more because of his launch angle. But the whole point is that the wind is blowing in Wrigley. And when the wind is blowing in Wrigley, it is really damn hard. Did anybody watch the game on, was it Friday or Saturday? Gunnar Anderson smashed a baseball to get it out of the yard. Like, smashed a baseball to get it out of the yard. Dead center, had to annihilate it. I don't know what else you're supposed to do with Wrigley, with this wind blowing in. And yeah, you have Ellie De La Cruz, you have Pete Armstrong, you have Kyle Tucker, you have Seiya Suzuki. You got a lot of power. I mean, Will Benson, I'll throw him into the category, but this just stands out as another just stay away, especially with Lodolo and Soroka out there. I mean, this just seems difficult because Michael Soroka, we had been backing him a lot for Washington. This will be his Chicago debut. I like this stuff. I'm going to be looking at K-ladders for him. That's probably a game that I have a ton of interest in props, but none of it from a hitting perspective in the positive way. Yankees, Rangers, not a ton to mine out of this one for the time being. Yankees get swept against the Marlins. They are shite, is what I believe the kids say. But fried ham, cheese and bologna after the macaroni. Max Fried will have onions, pickles, and pretzels. Then we'll have some more fried ham with Patrick Corbin, who deserves to pay for his sins as well. Under 8.5. Just going to be a lean, though. I just hate this ballpark so much. Arlington is awful. I mean, the fact that they had the World Series there in 2020, I get it. It was the new shiny toy, and you wanted to have everybody isolated there. Justin Turner didn't stop him from partying. Loperfido double. Wild one that's showing up on the card here. Guy has like a 375 batting average. You do have Dalton Varsho back. And this is kind of a battle of the two of them here going into Coors. I thought Dalton Varsho would end up showing out in the home run category, not as much as I was expecting. Hitting under 200, not making contact as often, striking out a bunch. Not that Tanner Gordon's going to get much swing and miss because, you know, those are the guys I generally like to back, like a Dalton Varsho. And those are the ones that I kind of have something where it tightens the distributions. You don't care about it. I care about that. Math cares about it. But Eric Lauer's out there. He works hard for your money. Went to Geico and got lipo with your money. But four-seam fastball, curveball, cutter. Cutter's got to be the thing that I don't know what's going to happen at altitude, but we going to find out. And I thought about a K prop, but yeah, Michael Toglia sent to AAA. They're going to be rolling out this. Let me double check the name because I was Warming Bernabel. That sounds like somebody who signed the Declaration of Independence, but it wasn't. So shout out that. San Diego, Arizona, last one. This was kind of artificial. My data likes the under, and I just don't understand it. How could you like the under of JT Sears and Brandon Pfaadt? I sure don't. Now, the roof is closed. It's more of a pitcher's park in the summer, and that's the whole reason I think the data's there. But this should just emphasize that Eric is somebody who is also take his rational mind, and then he can take his simulations, and then he can also say, you know what, I know ball. It's only a lean, so this is not going to be a play for me, but I just don't understand how you could have these starting pitchers. I think part of it is also the bullpen improvement for San Diego. They got some goodies. They got some goodies waiting in the wings. Hi, Mason Miller, who can't even get dusted off here recently. Mason Miller is freaking good. Just want to point it out there. You know what's also freaking good? Lindy 30. Sign up down at the link below. Lindy 30. You guys want to get in? $30 for a month. That's $1 a day to lead you up into the beginning of the NFL season. That was kind of the whole point. Lindy 30, Lindy 30 gives you an opportunity to jump into the Discord with Eitan Chander and myself, with Greg Ehrenberg in the Future Streets and myself. Lindy 30, come kick it, and then we can talk bets like these three that are popping up right now. Hit that like button as we begin Milwaukee on the run line here, taking on Atlanta. Well, not going to be taking Milwaukee on the run line, although I should probably contemplate it here because Eric Fetty is legitimately one of the worst starters in baseball. And I just don't understand how and why Eric Fetty is still in the league. Now, Atlanta, I think they're packing it in. Let me begin. I came to win. That's a sin. I screwed up those lyrics, but that's okay. I don't normally screw up the lyrics, except for I did just screw up saying screwing up. But Eric Fetty, brought him up multiple times on this show throughout the year because we take stolen bases against him. We really, really force the stolen bases against him. In Milwaukee, there's a number of guys that I think we can try to, throw it together for. But Eric Fetty, 15.3 degree launch angle, 294 expected batting average, 502 expected slugging, 14.2% K rate, 10.5% walk rate, 9.2% barrel percentage. Something that sounds fun. Oh yeah, those are all terrible numbers. Every single thing that I just said is an awful number. And somebody that we've backed pretty successfully, although 0-1 in the strikeout department, son of a Priester, man. Quinn Priester. Now, Milwaukee puts Jacob Mizrowski on IL today. That was brutal. Came out of the middle of nowhere. They end up starting, well, I don't even want to get into that. Ended up on the Washington +1.5, got tons of CLV because I reacted to it as soon as Miz ended up getting downgraded and out of that game. Didn't result in anything. Ended up in a 14-3 kibosh, and it sucks. I backed Milwaukee successfully in the first two games of that series in multiple capacities, specifically in the home run department with William Contreras and on Andrew Vaughn on Friday. And on Saturday, Christian Yelich goes yard for us. So I've had a really good feel of this team. And I hate that I had to force that in, but it was just simply a square peg, square hole. You knew it was going to be an inferior situation going from Miz to just about anybody else. But Quinn Priester's been legitimately all right for this baseball team. And in fact, everything about this team has been all right. Quinn Priester, 3.60 expected ERA, 3.27 ERA, and he does the thing that I always ask, ground balls. If you can get ground balls in the year of our Lord 2025, you have a place in Eric Lindquist's heart, and Quinn Priester does that. We barely have to put anything on top of Vig here. -130? -130? Give me all of that you got in a bag of potato chips from Milwaukee Brewers. They get it done for us here on Monday to start off the card. Play number 2, Tampa Bay taking on LA. And on the Tampa Bay side, just to cover it for you so you have some information, because that's kind of the point of this. I hope you're listening to me on a day in, day out basis. We have Adrian Hauser, who I have no idea how he's on Tampa Bay right now, but here you are. We take the transplant. Adrian Hauser gets sent off and then sent off again. Hey, Milwaukee, there you go. Chicago, there you go. 391 expected slugging's decent, sub 5% barrel percentage, but I really don't want to go out of my way to pick on him because it just seems as though Tampa Bay is one of those teams that can kind of tweak pitchers that they do like and make them the best versions of themselves. And I say that knowing Taj Bradley. We sent him to AAA as a Minnesota team already, and Taj Bradley was giving Tampa Bay headaches, I think, as it was. Just brutality. 3.97 expected ERA, though. 2.10 ERA for Adrian Hauser defies everything I know about baseball. But you say Kikuchi, I say Kakachi, and this is an unbelievable strikeout spot. 23.9% K rate here for Kikuchi, but it goes a little bit more granular than that because if you look at the Tampa Bay lineup, we're going to be getting lefties in it. Brandon Lau is going to be showing up in it more than likely. Josh Lowe probably shows up in it. You probably get, well, Aranda's now hurt, so that's a bummer. It's probably going to turn into something else. But Christopher Morel, 36.4% K rate against lefties. I send this out, and it just has Kikuchi ladder prone. I'm going to start with the 6.5 number. And we're going to be maybe working up one more rung of the ladder, maybe 2. But I think this is a Kikuchi strikeout especial. I think you want to be firing that one up. Let's count to 10 in Japanese. Ichi, ni, san, shi, kuru, kusichi, hachi, kuru. Did I do it? I think I did it. Bet you didn't see that one coming. Hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell. St. Louis and the Los Doyers. Guys, this number makes no sense either. 8.5, 8.5, 8.5. We have Sonny Gray on one side, who's, I think, the best pitcher that St. Louis is going to roll out. Now, this is expected ISO a little bit freaky. Yeah, 180 basically to lefties and righties. Yeah, 180 to my darts friends out there. But I do think Tyler Glasnow is due for evisceration. And you got Brendan Donovan, who ended up out for a personal issue on Sunday out of the middle of nowhere, replaced by Nolan Gorman. That is strikeout phenomenally. But what am I trying to say? I don't know. It really sucked that Dylan Cease didn't get there in all the capacities. We got the over of his strikeouts, but he taps out at 15 outs. And yeah, San Diego has a really good pen, so I get it. But should have jammed that under. I'm not making that mistake twice. Give me the under of 8.5. If anything, you could be looking at the Dodgers on the run line if you're really also trying to invest in a way where it's the Dodgers could kill Sonny Gray. And Sonny Gray hasn't been as sharp. I'm more than happy to admit that. Has Tyler Glasnow been as sharp? It's been pretty good. Not Tyler Glasnow of old here yet, but just get ready, friends. It's coming. I feel it coming. I feel it coming, babe. Shout out the weekend. Oh, it's no longer the weekend. It's the weekday. But Lindy 3-0, if you're looking to jump in, those are my 3 plays for today. I'm going to have at least 10. I haven't had fewer than 10 plays in like, I don't know, months. I don't even know what to do with that. I guess like All-Star Week, I guess that doesn't count. But Lindy 3-0, friends, come on in. The water is warm. And that does it for another edition of MLB Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks. Head to the comment section below. Let me know your favorite plays that exist on the board for this lovely slate we have before us. I'm going to be a little bit busy and preoccupied morning, afternoon here, but I'll be back recording in the evening. And obviously, I'll be in the premium Discord from the afternoon, evening here, as we've got tons of MLB games here. Again, 13 on Monday, and then we have the full slate, the full gamut here on Tuesday. Looking for another strong week here, not just on this program, but on Lindy's Long Balls, and especially in that premium Discord. Lindy 30, it expires Monday, midnight Eastern, 9 p.m. Pacific. So take advantage if you guys want to jump in the Discord for $1 a day. Would love to see you there. Till then, I'm Eric Lindquist. Best of luck in the MLB streets on Monday. Have a great week.